Okay, it's doing effects of GW trading, and today is Thursday, 17th of September, and I'm making this update. All right, let's start. What we have in the market generally is quite wonderful. Okay, let's just go straight to the CO2 report to see what's happening with the whole general market. It's quite amazing, and for the euro, all right, for the euro, we are starting to see what looks like some sort of disagreement. Okay, and these are things I tend to look at when I'm looking at the CO2 report. If you look at the CO2 report, we can see the 100 mark line, 200, and these are how they put the commercials, the non-commercials are being positioned. I look at these things generally in the market to see some disagreement here. There was one slight one here. All right, there was also here. The commercial actually crossed over the 200 mark, but the non-commercials were still below. We also had one here. Okay, and we're not having one here again. Okay, so we're having one here again, and it's more of a disagreement or a readiness for a shift in momentum. Okay, this started far back here. Let's see the date which it started. This whole thing. This was July 27th. Okay, July 21st. So if we go to our chart on July, we're going to look at the euro indices. Okay, down to daily time frame. This is July. Okay, July 21st. You then saw that happening. Came all through right here, guys. All through right here to this high, and then dropped to this low. Okay. Then we had this rise in September, but all through August was like some sort of consolidation here. Okay, so this disagreement have made this high and have made this low. So we'll just quickly use our line and then put up a line here. Now this becomes a support. Now this disagreement have not turned into a reversal yet, as we could see here. Is still having potential of rising, which we're going to do that by next week. But throughout the whole of this week, I knew that this was supposed to be a resistance, and I expect some sort of out of momentum here, and then another rise could come into play, breaking this structure. But I'll look to see price come to test this structure one more time. And how will that react? So for whole of the week, I did not take any trade with the Euro USD buy. For the whole of the week, I only avoided it. And as you can see, I had this range bound movement, which was seen here. So this is August. This was where it all started here. So we just quickly go draw this line down here. All right, we're just going to take this one out here, and we're going to identify that here that we have a zone of the 1.1696. So this is an accurate entry level for a buy trade for the Euro USD. Okay, overall, a bit of consolidation, okay, on Friday to go up, then on Monday you can start going up again. But in the near term, okay, I believe that the Euro USD, by my projection, okay, the GW trading masters, I will expect the euro to actually come into testing the 1.21 level. Okay, I expect that to happen. Okay, Trump election is actually, by the way, by the corner, and he's going to do a whole lot of things to keep everything at bay. Okay, so if we look at this arrangement here, and with this dropping here, we can see why we said right from time that we want to see price coming to hit the 1.2, because if you are taking a Fibonacci from a swing high here to our potential area of swing low, we will see that the 127 is around here. So that was why we had this target right from June for price to hit this zone. Okay, so we have no other way to go for the euro for now. Right. Okay, so we spotted something going on there, and as you can see that here we have a breakout of this trend line, but we have resistance here. We also have resistance here. So price could face a top resistance here and maybe drop, or could come in, pierce through this, and continue to the upside. Okay, since this is Tuesday low, so we can expect price to still continue to testing this zone maybe on the week, maybe till Friday. Then we will then see also with the Euro USD make a drop to this zone. On Monday, we are going to take, these are the features we're going to take right from Monday. We're going to reach 50 pips down here. Right, we're going to reach 50 pips down here, and we're going to see that happening right from Monday to the upside. So we're going to be looking at those few levels, and if we are going to be taking this cold trade, I think a risk of 50 pips here will be cool, and a target of 260 pips will also be cool for a start. So, but definitely, I want to see on the longer term price come up to testing this zone. So, if I'm going to take a swing trade, I'm going to have to risk 80 pips, because I like to risk 80 pips on my swing trade setup, and I'm going to target the 400 take profit area. Okay. So, what next do I think of the NZD? All right, the NZD from a monthly perspective. Okay, I spoke about NZD last week and also Saturday during my pre-session. Quickly speak about it one more time. The NZD, okay, if we look at the CO2 report for the NZD, look at the CO2 report for the NZD, we will clearly identify something unique here. All right, we had this fusion here on the NZD here, okay, and we also had one here. This was March, this was January, fusion here, and also we're having another fusion here on July. Okay, so if we go over to the indices of the NZD, we're going to see that January is on to weekly perspective or daily. Weekly will just do just fine. So January we had this fusion here, and we could see the NZD made this huge drop to downside. Okay, so this wasn't really COVID. Okay, this was actually what was already there in the market. Okay, it was already there in the market, just waiting to be triggered. And when that happened, you can see this fall here. So also here, we also have one in July, right? If I'm not mistaken, that was July. And when that fusion came into play, and I spotted this, I said, okay, fine, I'm inside of this range high here, July here, when the fusion happened, and we then saw this drop, okay, and we have this back into here. So we could then assume that the end is near. But looking at it from a monthly perspective, okay, monthly perspective, if you look at this from a monthly point of view, just zoom out a little bit. we have this trend line here, right from 2017 down here, and we have that price currently testing that trend line. So from a weekly view, we have this bearish filling candle, but we had this could be a double top. So if that could happen here, double top, so definitely we might want to see the NZD make other drops to the downside. All right, we want to see that happening. So that could be double top. I think we'll want to see some bit of confirmation, because definitely this is not good enough. Okay, not good enough. Not good enough. Okay, and looking at the whole thing with the NZD, it's poised to make one more drop back to the support, and that'll be very lovely to see back to the support, and then we then reevaluate the situation to see what we would expect to see. But definitely, I initially saw what looked like head and shoulder, embedded head and shoulder here, neckline here. So if we could have any of the two, I think, but I would like a test of the zone, then we have already situation to see if that would hold price. Maybe November, we could then see further rise to the upside. All right. So also what we AUD USD has been uptrend. Okay, been uptrend right from March here. So there is no real need to start anticipating a reversal. Okay, because looking at the CAC report for the AUD, I don't think we have reasons to start looking for anything yet. Okay, but we had this fusion here also coming into play. This was August, and we are still fused. Guys, we're still fused together. We're still fused together. So this is still not deciding, or there's no decision yet. You're still fused together. As you can see, that the difference with the commercials and the non-commercials both are minus, which is quite not supposed to be so. So there is a huge disagreement here. Until this disagreement can get off the market, I think we would then look for some short-term trades for the AUD, right? Not really long-term, okay? Because looking at how everything's pushing the market, and we want to be careful with this, okay? We want to be careful with this because they are unique, okay? So we don't have any reason to make any rush trade in possible reversal for the AUD because we have none yet. So looking at it from a monthly perspective, we have a bullish market, and from a weekly perspective, we also have a bullish market. Okay, so until we can break below this structure here on a weekly time frame, and we can close below here on a weekly time frame, I think that will be the only time we can then start looking for bearish momentum to come into the market. But overall, from a monthly and a weekly perspective, we are bullish on that. So we just have to wait. Bulls, we just wait for our time in the market, and when we come in and we take our trade, and then we go. So, but for now, AUD USD for bulls, we don't have an entry because definitely price can still make one further drop into trying to test the trend line before then the next rally to the upside. So that's the only time we want to be waiting to see what the market has to do. Okay, we want to wait to see that come into play because this is a trend line which we identified here. One touch here, 2, 3 could be here. We can expect one more touch here for next rally because definitely if this is a failed rally here, we can also have a test of this trend line before then the next rally to the upside. So we don't have any reason to short the AUD USD we only have reasons to want to long when it's time. So we are both on this phase, so we cannot be changing our bias. So we only have to just wait for our entry and time in the market to come. Okay, and that is what we'll be doing Tuesday. Wednesday double top, so we can expect further drop for the AUD to play. Also looking at the indices as well. Okay, this was resistance. We can expect further drop. Okay, for the AUD. So we just okay, so wait for a time in the market. All right, that's just the truth. We just wait for it to walk away. Okay, there's nothing good. There's nothing bad about it. It's just that you don't have a thread. You don't have a thread. Okay, you don't need to really force yourself to taking the thread every day. Okay, like probably in the week I've just taken on the two threads. Okay, I had the AUD card actually hit my take profit on Tuesday, and I was off the thread and with the studio after this presentation, and then we'll just look at what we have for the market for next week. We don't have any reason to take any counter thread, okay, of some sort, okay, and we don't want to be doing that, okay. We are so disciplined in our entry and also exit, okay. So no real reason to force ourselves into taking trades that have not aligned with our set rules. Okay, so if this is coming down, I think it will be coming down. Okay, so it's not really going to be our concern. Okay, we're just going to leave it the way it is and then wait for our time in the market, probably next week, to continue riding the pay into the areas which we want to be riding the pay into. Okay, so we are bullish on the AUD. Okay, GBP. GBP can actually still continue making further rise, as we can see here, right? But we didn't really trade the GBP this week, okay? Because for GBP to make a break this zone here, all right, I expected that, okay, fine, I want to be bullish here from this point, but I don't want to be taking any bullish trade from here. Okay, I don't want to be taking any buy trade for the GBP. Why? Let's just quickly go to CO2 report and let me show you guys why I don't want to be taking any buy trade. Okay, I just want to waiting for my time in the market, and that's how I trade generally. If you look at the GBP, we're gonna identify something here. I'm gonna show you guys why I don't want to be taking this trade, even though it's gonna be a good trade, but I don't want to take them yet. I just want to avoid them and then wait for my time in the market and then do whatever I want to do when I want to do them and not really be concerned with every market movement. Okay, so sometimes many of the times when I speak with the students, we don't have I tell them many times that you don't have the right to trade every pay. Okay? You don't have the right to trade every pay. Come into the week with a buyer and if that buyer goes sideways, just avoid it. Okay? You don't want to be doing buying, selling, buying, selling, buying, selling. You're not going to do that constantly week in, week out on the longer term. All right, so the GBP, we had one quite much vision here in the market, but the distinctive one was here. Okay, look at the distinctive one, March, March, April 2019. So we go to look at the March, April 2019 on our chart. March, April 2019. Here, right around here. Right around here, you can see what happened here last year. We did here last year. We spotted this zone, and that was why when we got to November, we know that whatever we want to do is try to short the GBP downside. And it was really a good trade for us. Okay. Now we have another fusion here. Let's just look at this. And a lot of things might not just really be clear to some people, watching this presentation, but we had this fusion here right from December, okay, and also we had another fusion also. We had a fusion in December, and we also had another fusion in March. So if you go straight to see the GBP, okay, for December and March, what we had, so this was March fusion here, and we knew automatically that once price would come into this zone, that this was a sell zone. So we only involved in this sell trade to the downside. How did we get involved? We did not sell, we didn't sell the euro, or we didn't sell the GBP, USD, but rather we bought the euro, GBP. All right, so we can have a bearish setup here, and we can use it for some other pay that we feel is quite stronger, okay, because of our bias. Okay, so we come into a trading week with a setup on how we want to approach it. So here, the whole of here is no concern to us here. Whether it comes back here or comes back here is none of my concern. But what I'm concerned with that whenever price would hit this area here, I will look for reactions of this zone to shut it back. This is what I want to be doing, guys. All right. And I'm going to match it with a strong pay for that week, and I'm going to short it real good. So we go over to the euro GBP combinations in terms of the minor pays. I think we've talked really about some of the major pays, okay, and what we have there. Let's look at some minor pays. See what we have with the minor pays. Okay. Come on, internet. I think it's lagging. I don't know what's wrong yet. Let me see. All right. Okay. All right. So what we want to be doing is just trying to avoid anything, okay, that will take us to one long the Euro GBP this week. Okay, we don't want a long this week. We just wanted to take out every bit of action that we grabbed last week, because we grabbed a lot of actions for last week, right from this low up to this point. So that was really massive, and 340 pips. So that was really, really massive. Okay, but overall, we want to be seeing the from our own target, the GW Masters. The GW Masters projection for 2020 is to see the Euro GBP come into the 0.9634. That's the GW Masters target for 2020.